No one on tour noticed the agreement that Alex Eala recently secured, which completely changed her destiny. As a champion, the company that gave her a racket as a kid has now given her an empire. There was no transaction here. This was a real-time fulfillment of a prophecy. Just a year ago, a 20-year-old Quezon City girl who was outside the top 100 was at the epicenter of the strongest grassroots movement in Philippine sports history. However, no one is telling you this. There was more to the story than just the trade. In the other half, it discloses Alex's true identity, her origins, and the reasons the tennis community can't stop discussing her name. Alex Eala was a young child at a clinic before the world rankings, the sold-out stadiums, and the public thank you from Coco Golf for revolutionizing the sport. Alexandra Mano Eala was born in Quezon City, Philippines, on May 23, 2005. Her upbringing was influenced by her desire to excel in sports. Riza Manoa, her mother, had won a bronze medal in swimming at the 1985 SEA Games. Mike Eala, her father, had the self-control of a businessman who recognized that commitment creates legacies. Something spectacular was silently assembled between those two powers. And where did it start? In a Milo sports clinic. The brand that gave a young Filipino girl her first organized taste of athletic identity is also the one that would appoint her as its newest ambassador decades later, so that detail is more important than you may think. However, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Eala defeated Madison Keys and Egget in back-to-back top 10 wins as a wild card at the 2025 Miami Open, propelling her into the WTA top 100 for the first time ever. That was not anticipated. It was not scheduled by anyone. There was not a single campaign prepared for the impending event in the business boardrooms of Manila, Dubai, or New York. Everything changed after a week in Miami. This is what sets Eala's story apart from all other overnight sensations, though. She was by no means an overnight sensation. Since she was 14 years old, she had been grinding through ITF circuits. She had learned from one of the best athletes in history while training at the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca. At the beginning of 2025, she was rated 138th. And she worked hard, gave up sleep, and participated in tournament after tournament away from home to earn every ranking point she gained from that number. This background is important because it elevates the Milo deal beyond mere news. It becomes hallowed as a result. Take a time to consider this. In the age of 17, she won the girls' singles category in the 2022 US Open, making history as the first Filipino to win a major junior title. She bore the unfulfilled expectations of an entire country. And she sharpened instead of disintegrating. She was ready, prepared, and unavoidable by the time the WTA world focused on her. However, what sparked this specific transaction? Why will Filipino sports fans never forget February 22, 2026? Stay with us because the solution is more potent and easier than you might think. Imagine entering the Miami Open as a wild card while ranked 140th in the world. No safety net, no seeding, and no promises. In March 2025, that was Alex Eala. What happened next is one of the most spectacular individual tournament runs in recent WTA history. Madison Keys, who was then ranked 5th in the world, was defeated by her. The most dominant player of her generation, Iggy Fiat, the world number 2 multiple Grand Slam champion, was the next opponent she faced. Eala became the first player from the Philippines to accomplish both goals as she defeated Fiat in straight sets to get to her maiden WTA 1000 semifinal. That week, the Philippines didn't get any sleep. Wearing red, white, and blue, Filipino communities from Miami, America, and the entire world flocked to Cranon Park Tennis Center. The stands were adorned with signs that said, "Laban Alex, fight Alex" in Tagalog. Jessica Pegula could hardly believe what was happening to her when she finally halted that Miami run in the semifinals. "I played her when she kind of broke out last year in Miami," Pegula subsequently stated. "It is where I am from. I thought, what on earth is going on? The entire crowd was against me." What was the origin of these individuals? There was more to that occasion than just a tennis tale. There was a cultural rebirth there. Brands were observing. The figures were astounding. Eala now has about 1 million Instagram followers, which is more than twice as many as prominent players like Amanda Anisimova, Pegula, and Keys. A player who is not in the top 30 can command a larger audience than those who are in the top 5. The kind of equation that marketing professionals see is the asymmetry between ranking and impact. According to Gigi Salman of Sky Sports Tennis, Ella may already be the biggest celebrity on tour in terms of popularity and the number of people that follow her. The biggest star, not the best ranking. There is a significant distinction between those two things, and brands are aware of it with exact financial precision. After one of her own matches, Coco Gauff apologized to her fans for delaying a match with Alex and assured them that she will be out shortly, according to Salman. Roger Federer was once surrounded by the same dynamic. You've transcended the sport when other tour players begin to fit your fan base into their schedules. You've turned into a phenomenon. Ella's Day in the Life video, which was uploaded to the BNP Paribas Open's official YouTube channel, was by far the most popular clip from the event in 2026. Therefore, choosing an ambassador was not a risk when Milo Philippines started building its 2026 campaign. It was math. However, before the formal announcement even came, the internet, driven by addiction and fantasy, almost went out of control. This is the awkward and revealing part of the narrative. Social media had already created Alex Eala's endorsement story for her before Milo released a single official remark, and none of it was true. Posts that claimed Wilson had extended a $45 million lifetime deal went viral. The name of the Jordan brand was linked to a purported $30 million collaboration. Screenshots gained millions of views and tens of thousands of shares as they circulated among Filipino Facebook groups, Twitter threads, and TikTok comment sections. Fans rejoiced over non-existent deals. They created headlines. Discussions erupted. Why is this important? Because it disclosed a profound aspect of communal longing. People across the country were eager to believe any account of Alex Eala's victory because they wanted her to succeed both on and off the court. There was no malicious intent behind the dissemination of false information. It sprang out of desire and a sense of patriotism that surpassed reality. And when it did arrive, what does that tell you about the real deal? Eala herself said, "I've received a lot of love and attention from the fans, especially this past year, 2026. In the end, I believe I need to remind myself that this is what I've been striving for my entire life, even though it comes with its own set of challenges and sacrifices. How many people would want to be in my shoes? Every day, I make it a point to truly give it my all and express gratitude for what I have." The saying, "sit with it." She admitted the burden. She recognized the conflict between vulnerability and exposure. She didn't flee from it. It was converted by her. It is uncommon for a 20-year-old to have such psychological maturity, and it is exactly what sets champions apart from contenders. She handles it so maturely with such grace, noted Jessica Pagula. She appears to be quite grateful for all of the help she receives. In the meantime, behind closed doors, the real transaction was being organized. Furthermore, it had nothing to do with the biggest figure. The most significant fit was the focus. Because no amount of money could create the relationship that one brand had with Alex Eala. February 2026, SM Mega Mall, Manila. One of the most emotionally impactful brand launches in Philippine sports marketing history was about to take place. In honor of the National Milo Marathon's 50th anniversary, Milo Philippines introduced its Active Filipinas 2026 campaign. One name, Alex Eala, was at the core of it all. Ella addressed the young athletes gathered in the room via video from Dubai, where she was training for a tournament competition. Her message was so precise and intimate that the arena fell silent. Because this is what the marketing slides and press releases were unable to adequately convey. The Milo Little Olympics and Milo Sports Clinics were the starting points of Alex Eala's adventure. She was now being requested to serve as their newest ambassador for the same grassroots initiatives. This was not a product endorsement by a famous person. One of its own graduates was endorsed by this product. Alex was right on board when we started talking to her about the campaign, said Lawrence Larico of Milo Philippines. She is aware that people can be motivated to rise from humble beginnings to greatness by her own Milo tale. Everyone who has ever aspired to be an athlete has a narrative that has been influenced by this legendary brand in one way or another, according to Milo and Alex. All of that landed. The statement also highlighted Milo's 2026 strategy, which will feature 50 races nationwide, the largest in the company's history, including 25 Champron events created in collaboration with the Department of Education. This was more than just a sponsorship. Alex Eala was the face of nation building. In order to create what Milo called a digital village of champions, where a child from a remote provincial barangay could see their journey celebrated alongside a Grand Slam athlete, the hashtag #MyoStory campaign was launched alongside the ambassadorship with the goal of gathering 3 million personal stories from all over the Philippines. Eala was much than just the initiative's spokesperson. She was a live example of it. The very following day, on February 23rd, the first Filipina to enter the WTA Top 50 attained a career-high ranking of world number 31. The campaign was unquestionable because of Eala's presence. The tennis community recognized the significance right once, and then there was a wider discussion about what this trajectory actually meant. Let's be honest. The ceiling is not the Milo partnership. It serves as the basis. With Emma Raducanu leaving Nike to join Unilo, Tennis 365 pointed out that Eala would be a fantastic fit for the American sports giant's next big rising star in tennis. Additionally, she just posted footage from her trip to Nike's headquarters prior to Indian Wells. That visit's timing wasn't coincidental. At this level, nothing ever is. Alex Pryor, Senior Communications Director for the WTA, called Eala's ascent incredible and expressed the organization's happiness at her achievements on and off the court. Additionally, every off-court development is made exponentially more valuable by the on-court story. In 2026 alone, Eala defeated Hailey Baptiste, 6th-seeded Jasmine Paolini, and Seren Kirstia in Dubai before losing to Coco Gauff in the quarterfinals. On her debut at that esteemed event, Eala made it to the round of 16 at Indian Wells, where she overcame Diana Yastrika in a thrilling 3-set match at midnight after recovering from a breakdown in the final set. "I'd like to thank Alex for bringing a new demographic to the sport," Coco Gauff said following her triumph in Dubai. "I am truly grateful for it. It is impolite for a 2-time Grand Slam champion to publicly attribute the growth of the sport on a younger opponent. That's a recognition of transforming power." The National Academy for Sports has cited Eala's training at the Nadal Academy as a model for developing the next generation of Filipino champions, and Philippine politicians and sports leaders have started using Eala as an example of what structured academy development can achieve. Imagine the entire image coming together in real time. A career-high ranking that keeps rising, a closer relationship with Nike, a Milo ambassadorship that solidifies her as a national icon, and a WTA that established a brand new competition, the Philippine Women's Open, primarily due to her attraction to viewers. Before Eala had even confirmed her participation, the first tournament's final tickets sold out. Influence is not what that is. That is the domination of culture. She is also 20 years old. You just saw how a girl who grew up at Milo Sports Clinics became the spokesperson for the company that brought her up. You saw how a position outside of the top 100 evolved into one that commanded sold-out arenas across all continents. You witnessed how a Grand Slam champion publicly honored her for starting a movement that was sparked by a single week in Miami. But be honest with yourself when you pose this question. Is the Milo deal just the beginning of an empire that is still being written, or is it the most significant chapter in Alex Eala's story? Since Indian Wells is currently taking place, next is Miami. Roland Garros comes next. Additionally, another contract with her name at the top is being drafted someplace in a boardroom. It was deemed startling by the tennis community. It was deemed inevitable by her admirers. It will be referred to as the beginning by history. What is the term for it? Leave a comment with your response. Please hit the subscribe button if this story touched you, inspired you, or gave you hope that dreams built at community clinics can be realized on global stages. Every week on this channel, we uncover the stories behind the stories, the moments behind the headlines, and the people behind the rankings. Both Alex Eala and I are only getting started.